Braxton, did you check out any football yesterday, specifically some of your AFC East foes?
Yeah, of course. It was on. Obviously a thriller in Buffalo, and Miami is obviously on a roll right now as well. But yeah, I did. I watched some football.
So if you guys beat New England this week, you will be in first place in the AFC East. How does that feel? How does that grab you?
I got crazy looks when I said at the beginning of the year that we play this game for the playoffs, period. That sentiment hasn't changed. It was from day one with this new staff coming in, and it's we got a long way to go. We obviously set ourselves up in a great spot through these first 9 games, and we have this back half, and we all know December football, January football. That's really what matters. So again, we feel great about it, but it's 1 week at a time. We got to focus on this opponent right ahead.
Braxton, what did you take out of the last meeting against New England? Because you guys had it rolling pretty good early on, and obviously a few things changed that game. Did you feel like you let that was one that you let go?
They're a great team, and one of the first things you learn in the NFL is before you win, you have to keep from losing. And that was a game that they obviously took advantage of every opportunity we gave to them. They're a well-coached team, and they're going to win those games when we make those mistakes. So it comes back to us and doing what we got to do, executing our stuff, and then maybe it's a different game, but we got to play cleaner.
Do you feel at all? I mean, you have a unique perspective where you've been up there and you've been here, and obviously this team, your Jet team, has not won in more than a dozen times now. So do you still feel, even though they're you're a little bit slightly ahead of the division, this is still a team you have to go through to get to where you want to go?
Well, of course. I mean, honestly, every team is a team we have to go through, everybody on that schedule, and then, forward from that. But everybody is a team you have to go through. And you look at our division, Miami, Buffalo, us, and New England, they're all winning records, all really, really good teams. And, obviously division games are, they count for a little bit more than outer division games. So, of course, you got to take care of your division first. And, we have them. We got to go to Foxborough, and, we got to try to put something together.
Braxton, what gave you the confidence when you said, you were talking before the season, you thought this could be a playoff team? What gave you the confidence when you're talking about a very young team to make that jump from where you were last year to where you are now?
Yeah, it was last year didn't show it on paper. And I know I've said this a few times, but, last year in the building, at least, it didn't feel like a 4-win season. And there's no moral victories in football. We all know that. But, it felt like we were way better than that. And then, obviously this the work we put in through the offseason, some of the acquisitions we had in free agency and then the draft, and all the foundation we had built, the year before, that was already here. I mean, it felt like this team could be special, could do special things. And, now, like I said, like we sit here at 6-3, and, it's all well within range. But at the end of the day, we still got to go out and try to get a win this week. And then next week we'll focus on next week, and so on and so forth. But, we have all the pieces. It comes down to, like I said, executing and, doing what we're supposed to do first, and everything else will fall into place.
Right, Braxton, you said, when you said that earlier, before the season, early in the season, you got looks like you were crazy and that kind of thing. And a lot of guys have said the same thing. How did you guys kind of keep that stuff out of the picture? You guys have talked a lot about not letting the outside come inside.
Yeah.
You guys do that.
I mean, it's a thing you get used to in football. When you win, everybody wants to tell you how good you are. When you lose, they want to do the opposite. And there has to be a belief in the team, and in these doors, that doesn't really matter what happens outside of them. And there has been, obviously we've won a decent amount of fourth quarter games, and that's starting to build that resiliency, that character of the team. To it really doesn't matter what just happened. Let's focus on what's in front of us, and that's all it is. Like I said, day to day, week to week, we just got to go out and execute and keep getting better.
Braxton, so much attention, obviously, for obvious reasons, is on Zach, and you guys you've had a pretty good formula in the last 6 or so games with him, other than the picks in New England kind of keeping control of the ball and not giving it away. What's the confidence level that if there's a game when your running game is taken away, that Zach can kind of take this thing over with you guys, the receiver, the skill position players, and maybe win a shootout or whatever it is, if it's a bad day for your defense or whatever?
Extreme confidence. And everybody feels that way. There's absolutely no flinching in that with anybody in this building. And that's not an exaggeration. Extreme confidence.
Does that come? I mean, obviously the Pittsburgh game was a great example of, how you guys can come back in the fourth quarter, with the passing game. But, where is that part of the evidence? Is that what you look to?
It's everything about it. This game is played by some of the best athletes in the world. I think that gets lost on it. And, Zach's one of those, and, they get paid too, both sides of the ball to make spectacular plays. And, things happen, games go up, games go down. People have great games, people have not so great games, and all things in between. But, again, to answer your question, we have extreme confidence because we've seen it. We see it day in and day out. And, he's the same guy every day, and that makes everybody comfortable.
Braxton, I know it's the next game, obviously, but how important is it for this team, this franchise, and the program where it is right now, to finally get a win against New England?
Yeah, again, it's the next game. Like I said, they're a really well coached team. I mean, extremely sound in what they do, and they have playmakers just like we do. And that's our goal. Obviously, they got us at home, and obviously our goal is to go and return the favor there. But we're going to have to play clean football. We're going to have to play good and together and all these other things. And, it's very important because it's the next game.
Braxton, can you put your finger on why you guys have been so good in the fourth quarter in the clutch and, when it's mattered? I mean, that's a very that's a very elusive thing for teams to master. And you guys have had that, knock on wood, for the first 9 games. Yeah.
I think it's kind of dating back to what I said about Zach, the confidence in each other. When we're on the sideline, looking left and right, we understand who we are and how we're going to fight for each other, especially in those crunch moments. And, I trust every single one of my teammates to go out and do their job, and that they're going to do it with 110% effort and at the very best of their ability. And so when you have that all across the board, it creates unity that can come out in the fourth quarter like that.
When you continue to do that, it kind of snowballs a little bit. How much does that reinforce and add to the confidence level when you get into those situations late in games?
No, absolutely. Because it's met with a smirk, to be honest. It's a challenge, and it's one of those where we all band together, step up to the front line, and say, well, this is going to be fun. Let's go do it. So, when you have that and you build that week after week, and you get to show it in those situations, it can snowball. It can build momentum, but it definitely builds chemistry. And that's really important going down the stretch.